Hello, this is Charles laComb's, and I am doing my biology role model project on Alfredo Quinones Hinojosa, the brain to save all brains. Now, who is he? Also known as Dr. Q, Alfredo Quinones Hinojosa is a Mexican American neurosurgeon involved in brain cancer research and treatment. He is also the chair of the Department of Neurologic Surgery at Mayo Clinic's campus in Jacksonville, Florida, and he is well regarded as an advocate for disadvantaged communities, such as those that are impoverished, migrants, and minorities within the medical space. Um, his education, he currently has a medical degree in neurosurgery. Um, at first, he attended the University of California, Berkeley in 1991, graduated with a bachelor's in psychology, and then later in 1999, he finally graduated from Harvard Medical School. Dr. Hinojosa was not originally planning to be one of the world's leading and best neurosurgeons. However, he credits his grandmother for everything that he has achieved and done in his career. Quoting in a interview, instilling in me the value of healing, but also in determining the fate and future of others. Dr. Hinojosa decided that he would pursue medical school after graduating from the University of California, Berkeley, due to his love of science and mathematics. In an interview that he stated he was unsure what to do specifically or where to go for medical school until one of his mentors suggested he apply for Harvard. After getting accepted, he found his calling when viewing a brain operation, where he recalls feeling absolute awe and humility and an immediate and deep recognition of the intimacy between a patient and a doctor. Alfredo Quinones Hinojosa is also an avid baker. He enjoys cooking traditional food from Mexico, and he organizes runs or fundraisers to help raise awareness and activity for certain ailments, most of them related to the brain, such as cancer, Alzheimer's, and mental illness. He's also an avid fan of FC Barcelona, and he loves physical activity and sports, such as marathon running and boxing, fitting of his fighting spirit and personality. Asking the big questions of research. So the things that Dr. Hinojosa likes to investigate and research are including molecules that are involved in brain tumor invasion and migration. He also develops cell therapies and adipose-derived mesenchymal stem cells to treat brain cancer and tumors. He also likes to develop new effective approaches to target brain tumors utilizing local and systemic therapies, as well as an understanding of the progression of brain tumors utilizing studies in humans and similar animals. Um, Most of the things that he researches tends to be focal points in glioblastoma, a type of cancer with a high mortality rate with only 3.3% of people making it past 5 years, and neurosurgery methods and approaches. New developments. So, as of late, his latest study was Awake Craniotomy Program Implementation. This was completed and published in January of 2024. For the x-axis, we have the difference in survival as well as cost being represented by the y-axis. For this, they were trying to determine to see what the benefits and risks might be for doing awake craniotomy. So this is where the patient is typically doing an activity while the surgery is taking place. The unmatched cohort is the what we normally do. We put people under, or the match cohort, which is where we keep them awake and do the surgery while they're still awake and aware. The findings that were found, according to this graph, were that the average was $7,000 in savings, as well as the survival rate being well above 10 to 12% increase than other simulations. This was not done on people, this was done by simulation, to keep in mind. So why Alfredo Quinones Hinojosa? Well, I wanted to do something and research someone that was similar to me. So I chose a Mexican American immigrant. It reminded me of my mom. Um, he has a si se puede attitude, very deserving of respect, as he went through tremendous hardship. He was originally an illegal migrant from Mexicali, Mexico. He jumped the border when he was around the age of 19, leaving everything, including his friends, family, language, home, and any sense of support to pursue opportunity. Now, at first, he was a farmhand making less than legal minimum wage. In an interview, he said he was making around $5 to $6. Um, However, after a year or two, he did decide to go to community college and then later transfer into Berkeley, which is where he graduated and went on. But even then, as his status is incredibly high, he is still remarked as one of the most personable people that others have met, such as friends, students, and colleagues. So he goes against the grain of the stereotype of scientists just being completely cold and desolate. Another thing that I found interesting was a quote of his from an interview. He said that his hands were bloodied from pulling weeds, looking back at his job, as you can see in him in his blue overalls whenever he was younger and where he used to live. But the very same hands that were responsible for farming were the very same hands that today perform surgery. And thank you so much for listening. These are my references as well as my picture sources.